Namaskar. A warm welcome to World News and Indian Perspective on All India Radio. This is R.S. Raghu and with me is Nishit Kumar bringing glimpses of the major developments of the day from across the globe. Over the next half an hour, we shall bring you the latest from the world of politics, economy, sports, entertainment and more. The headlines. At least 38 people, including 22 children, killed in a mass shootout at daycare center in Thailand. 18 people killed in Mexico as miscreants open fire in a city hall. 4 members of Indian origin Sikh family killed in California. Suspect arrested. India strongly condemns North Korea's ballistic missile launch in Sea of Japan. India and New Zealand agree on encouraging greater business collaboration and people-to-people exchanges. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar launches Modi at 20 Dreams Meet Delivery in Auckland. French writer Annie Ernaux wins the 2022 Nobel Prize in Literature. And in cricket, first ODI of 3-match series between India and South Africa underway at Ekana Stadium in Lucknow. It has been a day full of violence starting from US, Mexico to Thailand. At least 38 people, most of them children, have been killed in a gun and knife attack at Thailand Child Care Center by an ex-policeman who later killed himself. According to police, he killed himself and his family after a manhunt following the attack in Nong Bua Lampu province of Thailand. Casualties include at least 22 children and around 16 adults who were shot and stabbed before the attacker ran away from the scene. In Mexico, at least 18 people killed on Wednesday when some miscreants opened fire in a city hall in San Miguel Totolapan, a town in southern part of the country. Mexican daily El Universal reported this on Thursday. According to a newspaper, the gunmen appeared to have carried out a coordinated series of attacks inside the building with the aim of killing the mayor.
48-year-old man suspected for kidnapping and murdering 4 members of an Indian origin family in California has been arrested by the police. Members of a Sikh family of Indian origin, including their 8-month-old girl, were found dead in Merced County, California. Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann has appealed to External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar for a high-level inquiry in the matter. And in today's Hotspot section, we bring you a news commentary on India's rising defense exports.
India's defence exports touched a record of rupees 12,815 crore in the 2021-22 fiscal year, which marks a manifold increase since 2014. In fact, India is moving fast from being the biggest arms importer to a big exporter in the defence sector. The reason for such an unprecedented rise in exports could be attributed to the implementation of several reformative policies and initiatives by the Narendra Modi government, including delicensing, deregulation and export promotion. Special emphasis was given on foreign investment liberalization in the defence sector. Equally important was focusing on transparency, predictability and ease of doing business. The country's defence exports push is a part of its effort to become part of the global defence value chain and one of the leading countries in the defence sector. The government has set an ambitious target to achieve exports of about 35,000 crore rupees in aerospace and defence goods and services by 2025. It would be interesting to note that 70% contribution to the exports during the financial year 2021-22 came from the private sector, while the public sector accounted for the remaining 30%. In a tectonic shift from the policies of the earlier governments, the present government is giving much importance and space to the private sector in defence industry. Government's contention is that without involving the private manufacturing sector, the goal of Atmanirbhar or self-reliance in defence cannot be achieved. Keeping this in consideration, this year's budget allocation on the defence sector's capital outlay has been increased significantly. To boost the private sector in defence, micro, small and medium enterprises (MSMEs) have also been encouraged. Around 12,000 MSMEs have joined the defence industry. Due to encouraging initiatives on the part of the government, innovation, research and development development, and the number of startups have increased. The increased partnership with the private sector has led to a substantial rise in defense exports. India's defense exports have increased from 1,521 crore rupees in 2016-17 to rupees 12,815 crore in 2021-22. It is worth mentioning that India's defense sector was very strong even before independence. Participating in a seminar organized by the Indian Navy recently in New Delhi, Prime Minister Modi recalled that at the dawn of independence, there were 18 ordnance factories in the country, where many types of military equipment, including artillery guns, were made. He said India then used to be an important supplier of defense equipment in World War II. However, India's strength in the defense sector kept on weakening in later years. To facilitate exports, the Narendra Modi government has also undertaken key institutional changes in recent years. The creation of the Export Promotion Cell in the Department of Defense Production is one of the significant institutional steps. Measures like the 2019 Defense Attachés DA scheme is another, as part of which financial support to undertaking outreach activities and market studies are provided to DAs. The DA scheme in its initial avatar divided 85 countries into three categories, A, B and C, with the category A countries being seen as having the highest potential for exports. India now exports defense items to the United States, the Philippines and other countries in the Southeast Asia, the Middle East and Africa. Military hardware being exported by India include missiles, the advanced light helicopter, offshore patrol vessels, personal protective gear, surveillance systems and a variety of radars. In January, India's BrahMos Aerospace in the Philippines signed a deal worth almost $375 million for the Philippine Marines to acquire 3 batteries of the BrahMos cruise missile. The world has taken note of the BrahMos deal, and several other Asian and African countries could be potential buyers of the missile. India's defense indigenization push is expected to add value to the domestic defense industry and help boost their exports profile. Not just incremental, but significant changes in institutional structures and policy framework have been initiated to facilitate defense exports, signifying an unmistakable intent and resolve on the part of the government.
North Korea on Thursday fired 2 ballistic missiles into the Sea of Japan. Japan's Prime Minister Kishida Fumio has condemned the repeated launches. He has instructed the authorities to provide information to the public and ensure people's safety. Meanwhile, North Korea has justified the launching as necessary countermeasures against joint military drills by the United States and South Korea. Early in the morning, South Korea's military also confirmed the North Korea's missile test. As the United Nations Security Council UNSC met to discuss Pyongyang's Tuesday's launch of an intermediate-range ballistic missile over Japan, North Korea blamed Washington for escalating the military tensions on the Korean peninsula. Meanwhile, the United States yesterday accused China and Russia of protecting North Korea from UN Security Council sanctions. U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations Linda Thomas-Greenfield said North Korea has enjoyed blanket protection from 2 members of this council. The 15-member UN Security Council met on Wednesday following North Korea test-fired ballistic missiles over Japan on Tuesday. China and Russia did not want a public council meeting, arguing that it would not be conducive to easing the situation. After the UNSC meeting, 9 members, the United States, Britain, France, Albania, Brazil, India, Ireland, Norway and the United Arab Emirates in a joint statement condemned North Korea's missile launch. In May, China and Russia vetoed a US-led push to impose more UN sanctions on North Korea over its renewed ballistic missile launches, publicly splitting the UN Security Council for the first time since it started punishing Pyongyang in 2006. India has strongly condemned North Korea's ballistic missile launch over Japan and said that these moves affect the peace and security of the region and beyond. While addressing the United Nations Security Council UNSC, India's permanent representative to the UN, Ruchira Kamboj, called for the full implementation of the relevant UNSC resolutions relating to Democratic People's Republic of Korea. The 15-member UN Security Council met yesterday after the North Korea test-fired a ballistic missile over Japan on Tuesday. Ms. Kamboj said the Global South has already been disproportionately affected by the prevailing geopolitical situation and related changes. She added that it is therefore important to continue to make all efforts to maintain peace and stability.
External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar on Thursday said India and New Zealand have a particular responsibility in forging a post-colonial order which is fairer and more equitable. He stressed that it will provide prosperity and stability to large parts of the world. Dr. S. Jaishankar has called on Prime Minister of New Zealand, Jacinda Ardern. In a tweet, Dr. Jaishankar said that they discussed deepening the bilateral cooperation through focused engagement in areas of strength. He said that they also agreed on encouraging greater business collaboration and people-to-people exchanges. Earlier, speaking at a joint press interaction with the Foreign Minister of New Zealand in Auckland, Dr. Jaishankar said both countries should play to each other's strengths, which specifically meant business, education, technology, digital world, agricultural trade, talent, and most of all, people-to-people connect.
A large part of our conversation went to strengthening our bilateral relationship, and the sum and substance of it was an understanding that we should play to each other's strengths, which specifically meant business, education, technology, the digital world, agricultural trade, talent, and most of all, people-to-people connect. We spoke a bit about the need for better air connectivity. I also raised with the Minister concerns which some of our students have faced, students who had to leave New Zealand during the COVID period and who didn't have the opportunity to get their visas renewed. I urge a fairer and more sympathetic treatment for them.
The External Affairs Minister also took up the issue of Indian students impacted by COVID measures. He urged expeditious visa processing of those desirous of studying in New Zealand now. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar on Thursday participated in the Kiwi Indian Hall of Fame Awards 2022 and launched the book Modi at 20 Dreams Meet Delivery in Auckland. New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern was also present during the event. The event felicitated members of the Indian community in New Zealand for their exceptional achievements and contributions. Dr. Jaishankar started his official engagements earlier on Thursday with a traditional Maori welcome. He appreciated the symbolism of the convening of two energies together. In a tweet, the minister said that respect for customs and traditions is such an important aspect of India-New Zealand friendship. He also met New Zealand's Leader of Opposition, Christopher Luxon. Dr. Jaishankar said India-New Zealand relationship will advance with broad-based support and mutual efforts.
In Greek island of Lesbos, at least 16 women migrants and one boy died when their vessel sank off the Greek island of Lesbos earlier today, in the second maritime disaster involving refugees in the Aegean Sea in under a day. The country's Coast Guard said the sunken boat was carrying about 40 people. The Coast Guard said, citing people who had been rescued so far, there were 17 bodies recovered. A Coast Guard official said 10 women were rescued and around a dozen people were presumed missing. The boat sank east of Lesbos, which lies close to Turkey's coast. In the earlier incident, Greek authorities rescued 80 migrants, among them 18 minors, whose boat sank after hitting a rocky area in stormy waters near the island of Kythera in southern Greece yesterday. 82-year-old French writer Annie Ernaux has been awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature for the year 2022. The Swedish Academy has awarded the Nobel to the octogenarian French author for the courage and clinical acuity with which she uncovers the roots, estrangements and collective restraints of personal memory. Her literary work maintains close links with sociology. Last year, the Nobel Prize in Literature was awarded to the Tanzanian-born British novelist Abdul Razak Gurnah for his uncompromising and compassionate penetration of the effects of colonialism and the fate of the refugee in the gulf between cultures and continents. A report.
Annie Ernaux is a pioneer of autofiction, a style of writing that combines autobiography and fiction. The events in her book, she says, belong to everyone, to history, to sociology. In her works, the past is a raw material of her writings, which is transformed by rooting it in the present. Ernaux says, necessity, not pleasure, takes her back to her past, which she dissects like a forensics expert examining a crime scene. Her magnum opus, Les Années, The Years, have been written in the vein of a memoir and explodes with perspective and voice. The book has been written using one and we, and occasionally she or they, but never I. The happening, recounting her experience as a university student in France in 1963, is an intense account of an illegal abortion. The novel was also adapted into an award-winning French drama thriller film in 2021 by the same name.
Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla on Thursday reiterated that India has always supported a rules-based international order. He was addressing the presiding officers of G20 parliaments on the theme Effective Parliament, Vibrant Democracy during the 8th Summit of Speakers of G20 parliaments in Jakarta. He observed that India has called for supporting multilateralism for global peace and stability so that the world can unite to address the challenges facing the world and find solutions. Mr. Birla told the gathering that India's goal is to connect the youth with Parliament. He said various programs are being organized by Parliament for their active participation. He stressed that India's democracy has become more empowered and vibrant in the last 75 years, and the Indian Parliament is making continuous and consistent efforts to pave the way for the inclusive social and economic development of people. Earlier, intervening in the debate on the theme Emerging Issues, Food and Energy Security and Economic Challenges, Mr. Birla said that global instability caused by COVID has created a food and energy security crisis across the world. He further said that the Russia-Ukraine crisis has also adversely affected food and energy security in the world. He reiterated that India firmly believes that for inclusive development of the world, such conflicts should be resolved through mutual dialogue and diplomacy. India has rescued around 45 of its nationals trapped in the fake job rackets in Myanmar. This was stated by the External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Arindam Bagchi in a tweet. Out of them, 13 Indian citizens reached Tamil Nadu yesterday. Mr. Bagchi said some more Indian citizens have been rescued from their fake employers and are in the custody of Myanmar authorities, and legal formalities have been initiated for their return. Sharing his plight, one of the rescued persons said that he was selected in an interview in Dubai this year by a Thailand firm. He said he, along with others, were forcibly taken to Myanmar by road from Bangkok. They were forced to work for nameless companies by the armed gangs.
The first episode of Matadata Junction, a year-long voter awareness program, will be broadcast beginning Friday on All India Radio. A total of 52-episode program of 15-minute duration each will be broadcast on Vivid Bharati stations, FM Rainbow, FM Gold and primary channels of AIR in 23 languages across the country. The program will go on air between 7 to 9 p.m. The program will help in creating awareness among voters across the country. Chief Election Commissioner Rajiv Kumar launched the program on Monday in the presence of Election Commissioner Anup Chandra Pandey, CEO Prasar Bharati, Mayank Kumar Agarwal and Director General AIR News Vasudha Gupta in New Delhi. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Kumar said that the program will help in creating awareness among voters across the country. He added that each program will be based on a particular theme of the electoral process. Over the past 75 years since independence, India's largest public service broadcaster, All India Radio, has been the proverbial storyteller for crores of people across the country. All India Radio is celebrating 75 years of freedom with the series Azad Bharat Ki Baat, Akashvani ke Saath. It showcases the journey of India since independence in various walks of life through the storytelling of All India Radio. In today's episode, we bring you the story of cinema, journey of Hindi films in India.
The Hindi film industry, also known as Bollywood, represents about 40% of Indian net box office revenue and has overtaken the US film industry to become the largest center for film production in the world. Alongside commercial films, a distinctive genre of art films presenting realistic content and avoidance of musical numbers also exists in Hindi. Bollywood, the word, is a portmanteau of Bombay and Hollywood, shot into international fame when Mehboob Khan's film Mother India in 1957 became the first Indian film nominated for the Academy Award for Best Foreign Language Film. Many Hindi films made during the 50s and 60s addressed social issues and great music and produced stars such as Dilip Kumar, Devanand and Raj Kapoor.
मेरा जूता है जापानी ये पतलून इंग्लिस्तानी सर पे लाल टोपी रूसी फिर भी दिल है हिंदुस्तानी मेरा जूता है.
Films like Mughal-e-Azam, Avara, Sangam, Ganga Jamuna, Pyasa, Aradhana, Bobby, Anand and Sholay went on to become huge pan-Indian hits.
कितने आदमी थे? सरदार, 2 आदमी थे.
Superstars like Rajesh Khanna and Amitabh Bachchan ruled the box office.
बाबू मोशाय है? बाबू मोशाय? आपसे डॉक्टर बाबू? आपका नाम? आनंद. कहिए आनंद आ. अरे आनंद जी आप? ये आप क्या है? क्या फैसला हुआ था? तुम बोलो. हाँ, लेकिन तुम यहाँ कैसे? मैं भाग आया बाबू मोशाय. हैं? अच्छे यार हो तुम. मुझे वहाँ पिंजरे में डालकर खुद गायब. ओहो बाबू मोशाय, अगर मुझे वहाँ पर रखना है तो तुम्हें मेरे साथ रहना होगा. मैं वहाँ अकेले रहने वाला नहीं हूँ. लेकिन आनंद तुम्हारे लिए वहाँ रहना जरूरी है. कोई जरूरी नहीं है. अगर जिंदा रहना जरूरी है तो आदमी जहाँ हंसकर जिंदा रहे वही रहना चाहिए.
Leading ladies like Madhubala, Nargis, Vaijayantimala, Meena Kumari, Hema Malini and Sridevi too had their share of immense popularity. Great filmmakers like K. Asif, B.R. Chopra, Raj Kapoor, Gurudutt, Rishikesh Mukherjee, Basu Chatterjee, Yash Chopra, Manmohan Desai, Subhash Ghai, Meera Nair and Ashutosh Gowadekar took Hindi cinema to international levels. Eminent composers like Naushad, S.D. Burman, Lakshmikant Pyarelal, Shankar Jaikishan, R.D. Burman and A.R. Rahman lifted the standard of film music sky high. Interestingly, all the 3 Indian films that have been officially nominated in the Best Foreign Film category for the Oscar Award, Mother India, Salaam Bombay and Lagan, were made in Hindi. All India Radio too played its part by promoting film music in a great way. In tomorrow's episode, we will tell the story of the second biggest film industry of India, the Telugu films.
आजाद भारत की बात आकाशवाणी के साथ can be accessed on @AIR News Alerts on Twitter, News on AIR official YouTube channel, News on AIR app, Facebook and Instagram handles. So tune into All India Radio News for आजाद भारत की बात आकाशवाणी के साथ.
देश भर में धूम मचाए ज्ञान का ये उपहार. मोबाइल पे आजादी क्वेस्ट आया आजादी का इतिहास. डाउनलोड कर रे आजादी क्वेस्ट, ये लो जीतो ढेरों इनाम. मौका पाए जुड़ने का रेडियो और डीडी के साथ. सिर्फ खेल नहीं उत्सव है, आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव है. आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव है.
डाउनलोड करें आजादी क्वेस्ट ऐप और पाएं ढेरों इनाम.
The key domestic share indices Thursday logged modest gains. The Sensex and the Nifty, both indices, gained amid mixed cues from the global share markets. The Sensex finished above 58,200 points and the Nifty settled above 17,300 level. The rupee weakened 37 paise against the US dollar. A report from the business desk.
The Sensex rose 157 points or 0.27% to close at 58,222. The Nifty also added 58 points or 0.33% to end at 17,332. At global stock markets, Asian stock markets were mostly up today except Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index, which fell 0.4%. South Korea's Kospi surged 1%. Japan's Nikkei rose 0.7%, and Singapore's Straits Times was trading 0.2% up. Trade did not take place in China's Shanghai Composite Index. European shares were down in intraday trade. Oil prices today traded in a narrow range. In intraday trade, global crude prices were trading with marginal losses when reports last came in. Brent crude was trading at $93.20 per barrel. Back home at the multi-commodity exchange, gold futures for October was trading at 52,000 rupees per 10 grams. Silver futures for December was trading at 61,300 rupees per kilogram when reports last came in. And in the forex market, the rupee today weakened 37 paise against the US dollar. The domestic currency closed at 81 rupees and 89 paise against the American unit. Rajesh Lake for World News, All India Radio.
The T20 World Cup 2022 bound Indian team left for Australia Thursday. The team will play two warm-up games against New Zealand and host Australia before taking on Pakistan in the opening match on the 23rd of October. The Board of Control for Cricket in India, BCCI, shared a photograph of the entire squad, including all the players and head coach Rahul Dravid, on their official Twitter handle. Earlier, the BCCI had picked the 15-man squad on September 12th, where Rohit Sharma was named the captain, with KL Rahul being the vice-captain. The selection was expected on lines with Rohit, Virat Kohli, Rahul, Surya Kumar Yadav, Deepak Hooda named as specialist batters. Hardik Pandya and Akshar Patel are the two all-rounders in the squad. In cricket, South Africa defeated India by 9 runs in the first one-day international of the 3-match series at Ekana Stadium in Lucknow. Chasing a target of 250 runs, India made 240 runs for the loss of 8 wickets in 40 overs. For host, Sanju Samson was unbeaten on 86 and was the top scorer, while Shreyas Iyer made 50 runs. For the visitors, Lungi Ngidi scalped 3 wickets, while Kagiso Rabada took 2 wickets. Earlier, India won the toss and opted to field. Batting first, the visitors scored 249 runs for the loss of 4 wickets in the stipulated 40 overs. Henrik Klassen scored 74 runs, while David Miller made another half-century with 75 runs. For the Indian side, Shardul Thakur took 2 wickets. Due to rain, the match was reduced to 40 overs per side with maximum of 8 overs per bowler. The other 2 matches will be played in Ranchi and Delhi on the 9th and 11th of October. Team India is being led by Shikhar Dhawan. At the 36th National Games, Akarshi Kashyap defeated Malavika Bansord and won the gold in women's singles badminton this morning. In archery women's individual bronze medal match, Miss Simranjeet Kaur won the bronze medal for Punjab in the recurve round. In the medal tally, services continue to dominate with 89 medals, including 40 golds, 25 silvers and 24 bronze, followed by Haryana with 66 medals, including 25 gold, 22 silver and 19 bronze. Maharashtra is now on the 3rd place with 24 medals, 22 silver and 42 bronze. Tamil Nadu is now on the 4th place with 52 medals, including 18 gold, 17 silver and 18 bronze.
Now let us take a look at the major developments around the world as reported in the foreign press. New York Times notes Putin's military faces rising criticism from the pro-war camp. The Washington Post reports that former officer attacks daycare center in Thailand, killing dozens. The Guardian writes that Russia-Ukraine war live. Putin must lose or he will invade other countries, European countries, Zelensky says. And now a quick look at the headlines once again. At least 38 people, including 22 children, killed in a mass shootout at a daycare center in Thailand. 18 people killed in Mexico as miscreants opened fire in a city hall. 4 members of Indian origin Sikh family killed in California, suspect arrested. India strongly condemns North Korea's ballistic missile launch in Sea of Japan. India and New Zealand agree on encouraging greater business collaboration and people-to-people exchanges. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar launches Modi at 20 Dreams Meet delivery in Auckland. French writer Annie Ernaux wins the 2022 Nobel Prize in Literature. And in cricket, South Africa beat India by 9 runs in the first ODI of the 3-match series. And now, before we end, let us listen to Mahatma Gandhi's favorite bhajan, Vaishnav Jan, by artists from Armenia. We'll be back at the same time tomorrow with the next edition of World News.